What's up guys, and welcome to another episode of El Jardín Perdido. Today, we're doing an update on my chicken hybrids. Okay, so this is an update video, so if you guys want to know any other information, I have a previous video. But basically, I started with chickens X amount of years ago, probably more than a decade at this point. Started with some Bantam. I moved on to AM Samani, which I'm sure you know are the all black goth chickens. And what happened was at some point, a dog came in my yard and pretty much demolished the whole flock except for a rooster. So I crossbred those. And rather than, get more yam eggs, I kind of went with that. And there's jungle fowl in there. I don't want to tell you everything, but at this point, we're a few generations in. I'm getting some pretty interesting offspring, but the reason I went on this momentum was because I'm getting to a point where I want to make a more favorable breed that will work with where I'm at and what I'm doing. I would consider them semi-free range, and so part of mixing in the red jungle fowl was A, they're beautiful, but B, a little bit of wild in there will help them escape predators and stuff like that and be a little more hardy, which they definitely are. I've noticed they're a little more territorial and loud too, even the hybrids. And even further into what happened with coincidence is at one point I had to get rid of my chickens and goats because my neighbors complained to the department and it was just a mess, but really they were just doing it in spite. But I ended up getting rid of all my chickens, and then I had seller's remorse, so I went to the feed store and I bought back a couple of my crossbreeds and I started revving it back up. I'll show you around. We just have some in the process of hatching. Some have hatched a few days out. Some are just hatching in the incubator. I also have a broody hen, which I'm not sure that I trust her because she's already let one clutch down. I'm not sure what happened with that, but I'm gonna go through the eggs tonight while it's dark and candle all of them, and whatever looks viable, I'm going to throw in the incubator too. But real quick, I'll show you around, show you what's left of my flock, but also all the new hatchlings too. So these just hatched earlier today, kind of this morning, but you can see the variety here already. This is frowned upon in the chicken community in some sense, when you just mix for no reason. But yeah, so you can see it's basically like rainbow breed here. So yeah, you can see there's quite a variety of different styles. If you guys know game birds in general, you can see this eye pattern is indicative of the red jungle fowl. So there's a lot of cool little things happening here. But as they get older, I'll kind of start picking out favorable traits and breeding accordingly. So it looks as though most of the flock went to bed already. They could be anywhere up in the trees. That's part of the wild aspect. So yeah, this is our broody hen. You can see she does have some of the sea bright markings on her, a lot of the melanin from the AM Samani. So she's pretty interesting. She's domestic, but she found her way up into the tree. I think some of this too is the flock mimicking each other. But yeah, she's an Easter egger, and I wanted to mix some domestic in there. So that's part of the flavor of all these too. Okay, so as we peer into the little makeshift breeder, it's pretty much 100 degrees. So I don't really have to use the supplemental light unless we get a temperature drop at night here. But yeah, they seem to be fine in this brooder. I'm actually doing the opposite and making sure they have plenty of shade. They have a lot more open space, but they're so small right now, they're getting into trouble. So I just have them in this little aquarium, but you can see even more of these interesting, they're pretty much like a rainbow flock at this point, but yeah, pretty interesting. All right guys, so that's my update. I just wanted to show you some of these new hatchlings. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below. while I understand I'm just kind of doing this willy-nilly, I do respect the fact that actual breeders have a very vigorous process. But right now I'm just kind of having fun. If I do get to a point where I find really favorable traits, I will start crossbreeding those pairs more and more and more. And I know that when you're making your own breed, you also have to incorporate some of the previous generations into that. So I know it can get technical, but right now I'm just kind of having fun. Another breed that I previously had that something happened to, I believe that a yard dog got in, which I have since prevented from happening. But I did have some Satsumas. I would like to maybe incorporate those back into it, although they're a little more on the flighty wild side, and I am working on kind of trying to domesticate them just a little bit more. All right, guys, well, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help the algorithm. But as for now, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, thanks for tuning in. Until next time.